Pretty cool. They're not just about explosion and lava, and we're gonna go into that and how they've affected our climate. Volcanic eruptions are some of the most powerful natural events on Earth. They can change the landscape in a flash, but what's even more surprising is how they affect the climate. When a volcano erupts, it releases gases and ash into the atmosphere. These particles can block sunlight or trap heat, which changes the way our planet warms or cools. Check out this diagram. It shows how volcanic stuff can reach the atmosphere and start messing with the weather. Volcanoes impact the climate in two ways. First, there's something called aerosol injection. This happens when a volcano shoots sulfur dioxide into the air. In the stratosphere, it turns into tiny particles that reflect sunlight, which cools the Earth. A famous example is Mount Pinatubo. In 1991, it cooled the Earth by almost 1 degree for 3 years. The second way is greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide. Volcanoes release these gases which trap heat, but here's the thing. The amount of greenhouse gases from volcanoes is tiny compared to what humans release every year. Some historical case studies that are pretty famous. Like in 1815, Mount Tambor erupted and caused what's known as the year without a summer. It got so cold that crops failed, and people around the world faced famine. Another example is Mount Pinatubo. In 1991, well, we already went over that earlier. But we'll look at the before and after images of Mount Pinatubo. As you can see, it really changed the landscape. That's the before on the left, the right's after. Long-term climate influence. Volcanic eruptions don't just affect the short term. They can have long-term impacts too. Huge events like those created, like the large igneous provinces, are connected to mass extinctions. For example, 252 million years ago, during the end Permian extinction, massive volcanic eruptions released so many greenhouse gases that 96% of marine life and 70% of land life went extinct. It's wild to think about how volcanoes could change the entire planet like that. Now, let's compare volcanoes to human activity. Even though volcanoes can cause big climate changes, humans are way worse for the planet right now. We emit over 100 times more carbon dioxide every year than all volcanoes combined. Check out this graph. It shows how small volcanic emissions are compared to human activities. So while volcanoes are powerful, they can't compete with what humans are doing to the climate. To wrap things up, volcanoes have had a huge role in shaping the Earth's climate. They've cooled it, heated it, caused... Hey everyone, so today I'm going to show you a simple demonstration that explains how volcanic aerosols interact with sunlight in the atmosphere. So volcanic aerosols release tiny particles. Volcanic eruptions release tiny particles called aerosols into the air. And these particles, they scatter sunlight, affecting Earth's climate. So I'm going to show you how that works here. First, we need an atmosphere, and that's what this cup of water represents. Next, I'm going to add a little bit of milk, and the milk represents the volcanic aerosols, particles like ash, sulfur dioxide, releasing during an eruption. So now I'm just going to gently mix the milk in, just like how aerosols spread throughout the atmosphere. So to see the effects of these aerosols, you can just look at it. The water isn't as clear anymore, it's been diluted. And this is essentially what aerosols do. And because of this, you can't see through the cup anymore, right? And that's how Earth cools down. That's how the scattering of light works. So now that there's stuff in the atmosphere, light can't pierce through it anymore as easily, and then the climate cools down. And that's what this represents here.